Sunday. First at 3:05, Tom Brady heads to Lambeau Field to take on Aaron Rodgers in their first playoff matchup ever. Then it's the young QBs facing off at Arrowhead for the AFC Championship at 6:40. The winners will meet in Super Bowl 55 in Tampa, believe it or not, in just 2 weeks from today. Hello and welcome to postseason NFL Countdown. I'm Stan Ponder with Randy Moss, Rex Ryan, Teddy Bruschi, Matt Hasselbeck. I still can't believe we made it here.
Yes.
It's almost time for a Super Bowl. It's the game before the game. One win and you're in. Guys, the players we're going to see play today, specifically the QBs, 24-0 since the start of December. Everybody's coming in hot, and the matchups match up with that. Yeah, it's decent. So let's talk about the matchup between the Bucs and the Packers. When you're looking at these two QBs, we already know they're future Hall of Famers. There's no debate about whether or not they're some of the greatest of all time. But, Teddy, who do you think's legacy is more impacted by a win today?
Well, I mean, it's important to both of them, but I just think of my former teammate Tom Brady, and I've seen every snap of his career, whether as a teammate or as an analyst, and the accolades are endless. I mean, that's obvious, but what he's done is he's gone to another team and changed the culture. Okay, this isn't the NBA where one player can go and just drastically change the fortunes of a team. But Tom Brady has done that. He's changed the culture. He's changed the way the coaches see the game, the way the players see the game, and changed conferences. Let me just go over the NFC. And yes, here I am again in the NFC Championship game. So to me, it's absolutely amazing. That will just put him in the stratosphere if he was able to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to the Super Bowl by beating Aaron Rodgers in Lambeau Field. For that is just amazing to me. This guy's my former teammate. I mean, he's a friend of mine, but still, the player, separating it from that, what it would mean for him to get him there. I mean, it's just, the storylines are endless. The accolades would just get even higher and higher.
Well, let me talk about Aaron Rodgers in his second year in a row being able to compete for the conference championship. You talk about some of the great quarterbacks in the history of the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers could single-handedly cement himself as the greatest Packer quarterback of all time. You just put a man up on the screen. He's chasing Tom Brady. But when it comes to the franchise of the Green Bay Packers, last year they let themselves down, getting beat by the San Francisco 49ers. Hear all this talk all offseason of what they did or didn't do in the draft. Aaron Rodgers, league high with, 48-something touchdown. For him to be able to lead the league, him and Devontae Adams be able to storm in to cement himself as the greatest Packer quarterback of all time. This is a big game for Aaron.
Yeah, I think it's amazing when you consider how great a player Aaron Rodgers has been. He's only been to one Super Bowl. That tells you how hard it is to get there. And just playing in a championship game is amazing. Tom Brady has nothing to prove. He's been there, like you talk about in the stratosphere. Nobody's in that stratosphere. He's been to 14 championship games. I've gone against him. Brew, you've seen every play he's ever had. Okay, it felt like I have as well because I've coached against him more than any coach, in the history of this league, and had my butt kicked by him a million times. But to me, he can go out and throw 6 interceptions, never win another game. He's still the greatest of all time. So I think the guy that has to prove the most, to me, if you're going to pick one, it would be Aaron Rodgers.
But, Rex, it's not that he has to prove that he's the greatest quarterback of all time. I think a lot of people are just thinking, prove that you can win it all without Bill Belichick. And that's the big question today that'll make the difference.
Yeah, and I think for Aaron Rodgers, this is the game that means the most to him. I mean, obviously, you've heard him talk about, hey, we get to play this championship game at Lambeau. Yes. And any of you who have played at Lambeau, whether as a Packer or as an opponent, I've done both, it is a special, special place. And there really are no NFL stadiums like it. But not only the stadium, he's going up. If you're Aaron Rodgers, it's very seldom that you're like, oh, wow, who's the quarterback on the other side? Yeah. You don't care. You're Aaron Rodgers. But this is Tom Brady.
Yeah,
and
it's like you got to stop it.
This is the guy that you look up to. Like, this is the guy that he gives up dairy, you give up dairy, okay? This is the guy that says, I'm going to play till I'm 45. Hey, maybe I'll play till I'm 45. That's the kind of respect that I believe that Aaron Rodgers has for Tom Brady. That's why this game will be so special to him personally.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch. It's just crazy that we haven't seen it very much. They've only faced off 3 times before. Brady's only played at Lambeau 2 times in his whole career. We'll see how he does in some snowy weather, which he is familiar with that, of course, from his 20 years in New England. It's time now to get to our insiders, Chris Mortensen and Adam Schefter. Guys, what are your top stories this morning?
Well, Sam, you mentioned that Antonio Brown is out for the Buccaneers offense. But you know who they get back? Defensive tackle Vita Vea, 6'4", 347 pounds, broke his lower leg in Week 5 against the Bears. Didn't even play against the Packers when the Buccaneers dominated them in Week 6. But Devin White of the Buccaneers may be the best defensive player on the field, but Vita Vea coming back has the Buccaneers excited, especially defensive coordinator Todd Bowles, who can now dial up some more exotic blitzes to get after Aaron Rodgers today, Adam.
And more, some big injuries in Kansas City. The Chiefs believe they will have running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire today. They don't know how much he will play. It'll depend on how effective he is out there. I think they are less optimistic on both Sammy Watkins and Le'Veon Bell. I think that they go into today not thinking that they'll have either one. We'll see if they can overcome it in pregame warmups. But I would say Sammy Watkins right now is a long shot to play. Patrick Mahomes, however, will be out there. He is cleared through concussion protocol. That is not going to be an issue today. What will be an issue is the toe injury, the foot injury that he suffered last week. He has not been pressured in practice. He is just thrown. They don't know how he's going to react once he gets outside the pocket and is chased around. They are as curious as anybody else, but they will have their quarterback out there. Mahomes will play today, Sam.
Yeah, we're obviously all excited to see Patrick Mahomes out there today. The number one concern is always the concussion, but now that we know he's cleared for that, all the concern turns to this toe, which I think a lot of people hear, a toe injury, it's not that big of a deal. Obviously,
anyone who's never had one.
Yeah, exactly. For a guy who plays the way he plays, it is a big deal. Matt, what do you think the impact of this is?
Well, I don't think we give him enough credit for his mobility, probably because he's such a great pocket passer, has an amazing arm, but he's number one in the NFL in touchdown passes and yards while throwing on the run. It's a big part of his game. He had a touchdown last week on a sprint like a speed option. Got hurt on the speed option. I think it shrinks the playbook. So it shrinks the playbook for, the play caller. That's one thing. But also just the scramble ability, finding better throws. Hey, I've got a 5-yard check down. No, I'm going to buy some time and take something down the field. But I would not be surprised to see Andy Reid and company maybe get creative. Like you've seen Eric Bieniemy in the short yardage situations, maybe put Travis Kelce at quarterback, maybe do something different. So I do think you're going to see a different scheme from these guys simply because of the toe injury. I know it's small, but I think it is a big deal. You got to coach around it.
Matt, you talk about the scramble. I don't know if fans realize this quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, scrambles more on third down than any quarterback in the league not named Lamar Jackson. So, I'm just telling you, it's a big part of his game. And all of a sudden now you got that kind of taken away here. The last time these two teams met, Leslie Frazier, the defense coordinator with Buffalo, did not blitz Patrick Mahomes, not one time. Today is a different story.